Okay, let's just dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're looking at something that is literally so universal it completely transcends borders. We're talking about common English mistakes we all make. And hey, let me just say right off the bat, this is a totally judgment-free zone, okay? Language is, well, it's wonderfully tricky. Whether you're a total beginner or a super advanced speaker, there are just certain everyday phrases that kind of trip everyone up. Honestly, I absolutely love unpacking these because breaking down these really simple structures makes our daily communication just so much more clear and way more confident. So here's my question for you. Do you make these daily mistakes? Instead of me just sitting here feeding you the answers, we're going to play a quick little spot the error game. I want you to really lean in, test yourself, and see if you can actually pick out the correct option before I reveal it. Actively guessing like this, it's like a cheat code. It actually helps your brain retain the grammar rules so much faster than just passively listening. So, you ready to challenge yourself? Let's do it. All right, section 1, tricky singulars and plurals. Okay, here is your very first challenge. When we're talking about groups, do we say people is or people are? Which one actually sounds correct to you when you hear it out loud? Like, it's a group, right? So how exactly do we treat that in a sentence? Just say it to yourself or, lock it in your head right now. And the correct answer is people are. Now, what's really fascinating about this rule is how the plural agreement works here. The word people is already a plural noun. It's literally the plural form of the singular word person. So because it inherently represents multiple individuals, we absolutely have to pair it with the plural verb are. People are learning. People are listening. Just take a second and let that plural agreement really stick in your memory. All right, let's kind of flip the script here. Here's challenge number 2. Everyone are or everyone is. Now, based on what we just literally talked about with groups of people, what do you think the answer is here? This one is sneaky. It trips up so many fluent speakers. Go ahead, lock in your guess. The correct phrase is actually everyone is. So the absolutely crucial point here is the contrast from our last example. Even though the word everyone clearly refers to a whole group of people, grammatically speaking, it's treated as a singular unit. The trick is to think of it as every single one. And because of that singular focus on the individual pieces making up the group, it has to take this singular verb is. So people are, but everyone is. It's such a tiny detail, but wow, it makes a world of difference. Moving right along to section 2, the preposition trap. For this next challenge, let's talk about experiencing fear. Which pairing is correct? Is it afraid from or is it afraid of? These tiny little connection words are just notoriously tricky, especially if you happen to be, translating directly from another language in your head, because prepositions almost never translate word for word. The correct phrasing is afraid of. You're afraid of the dark, afraid of spiders, afraid of making a mistake. Notice that natural English rhythm when you actually say it out loud. Afraid of. It just rolls right off the tongue. Repeating this pair together both visually and verbally is really going to help cement that natural rhythm for sure. Okay, moving on to how we state our preferences. Do we say, I prefer tea than coffee, or I prefer tea to coffee? Which one of those is the proper phrasing when you're comparing two things you really like? And this brilliantly illustrates our correct phrase. I prefer tea to coffee. It's incredibly common to want to use the word than here, right? Because we feel like we're making a direct comparison between the two drinks. But in English, with the specific verb prefer, we always use the preposition to. I prefer tea to coffee. Make sure to really stress that word to in your mind whenever you're talking about what you prefer. Okay, stepping into section 3 now. Actions, states, and age. Here's a massive one that pops up literally all the time. When you want to state your consensus with someone, do you say I am agree or simply I agree? Think really carefully about what kind of word agree actually is in English. The correct choice is simply I agree. It's punchy, it's confident, and it's super direct. The word agree is an action verb all on its own. It's not an adjective. Therefore, you really don't need that to be verb am in there to help it out. You just do the action. You agree. Now for the absolute classic age mistake. To express age, do we say I have 19 years old or I am 19 years old? This is another one that gets heavily influenced by how other languages around the world express the whole concept of passing time and growing older. And we're locking in the final correction. I am 19 years old. See, in English, your age isn't something you physically possess or have. Rather, it's a state of being that you are. You don't hold your years in your hands, you are your years. I am 19 years old. Fantastic. Moving on to Section 4, your turn to practice. We successfully made it through all 6 challenges. Now it's time to actually apply what you learned, bridging that gap between understanding a rule and using it flawlessly. Let's do a rapid-fire, really energetic recap of all 6 correct phrases to firmly cement them in your memory. Ready? Here we go. People are. Everyone is. Afraid of. I agree. Prefer tea to coffee. I am 19. Seeing them all together structurally like this is just a super effective way to visually map them out in your brain. Now, I'm going to deliver the exact instruction right from our source material today, and I am speaking directly to you right now. Make sure to use all of these words in sentences in the comment section down below. Seriously, active practice is the absolute best way to conquer these common mistakes for good. So, I'll leave you with this final, kind of provocative question to get you started. Which sentence will you construct first? Like, will you tell us what you're afraid of, or maybe what beverage you prefer? Take action right now. Pick one and just start practicing. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.